What it is, Daniacs? We are back here with Bryce Mitchell, and he's going to be giving us 5 undeniable, disprovable facts from the Bible that prove that the earth is flat. And then we are going to give counter arguments that are scientifically, empirically verified that prove that the earth is not flat. Let's go.
1, there's a firmament. Number 2, the earth cannot be moved. Number 3, there are ends to the earth. Number 4, there's an up and a down. Number 5, the waters are bounded and compassed. These 5 categories that are clearly described in the Bible obviously disprove the spinning globe theory. Number 1.
Obviously. There's no argument that you could posit which would ever disprove these claims, right? Okay. Let's jump into it. Modern science provides overwhelming empirical evidence that no such solid dome or physical barrier exists above Earth. This conclusion is based on direct observation, repeated experimentation, and technology that would be impossible if a solid firmament enclosed the planet. Direct evidence from space exploration and rocketry. Rockets, spacecraft, and satellites routinely travel far beyond Earth's atmosphere into space without encountering any solid barrier. Since the late 1950s, thousands of rockets have launched payloads into orbit and beyond. Examples include NASA's Pioneer missions starting in 1958, Apollo lunar landings 1969 through 1972, the Space Shuttle program 1981 through 2011, and ongoing missions by SpaceX, Roscosmos, ESA, and others. These vehicles reach altitudes of hundreds to thousands of kilometers and escape velocity to leave Earth's gravity entirely. No launch has ever impacted or been blocked by a solid dome. Instead, rockets pass through progressively thinning atmospheric layers into a vacuum. Exhaust plumes spread out in the near vacuum as air densely drops, consistent with physics and observable in launch footage. Interplanetary probes have traveled millions to billions of kilometers without hitting any barrier. If a solid firmament existed, rockets would collide with it, producing detectable impacts, seismic-like effects, or visible damage, none of which has occurred in over 65 years of spaceflight involving tens of thousands of launches. Now, I'm from Florida, and as a kid, there was a few times that I remember watching the space shuttle launches. Like literally watching it in person. It was from afar, but you could still see it. Yeah. So evidence from satellites and orbital mechanics. Over 10,000 active satellites orbit Earth at various altitudes, providing GPS, weather forecasting, telecommunications, Earth imaging, and scientific data. Orbital paths follow predictable Keplerian ellipses governed by Newtonian's law of universal gravitation and general relativity. Corrections. No adjustments are needed for a dome. Satellites transmit signals continuously from space. We receive GPS, satellite TV, and imagery daily. A solid barrier would block or reflect these signals in ways inconsistent with observations. The International Space Station is continuously inhabited and visible from Earth. Astronauts perform spacewalks outside any supposed dome. Also, there is the Starlink that people all around the world have seen deployed. When Starlink first launched, I thought we were getting fucking invaded by aliens, dude. Yeah, for serious. Like, I was like, there's a fucking line of stars. What the fuck is going on? Like, perfectly spaced, perfectly timed. Yeah, so there's that. Atmospheric and astronomical observations. Earth's atmosphere thins gradually with altitude, transitioning to near vacuum above. High altitude balloons, sounding rockets, and aircraft reach 30 to 50 kilometers routinely without hitting anything solid. Telescopes observe distant galaxies billions of light years away. Light travels unimpeded through space. No absorption or reflection by a dome occurs. Meteorites, and cosmic rays enter from space continuously, burning up or impacting Earth. A solid dome would prevent or alter these phenomena in detectable ways. Auroras, noctilucent clouds, and airglow form at high altitudes from solar particles interacting with atmospheric gases. No barrier blocks solar wind or prevents these. Methodology summary for verification. Track launches. Use public data from NORAD, spacetrack.org, or apps like Heavens Above to follow satellite paths and rocket trajectories in real time. Observe phenomena. Amateur astronomers photograph ISS passes, satellite flares, and deep space objects. Use technology. GPS receivers work by triangulating signals from orbiting satellites. Disruption would occur if blocked. I bet you use GPS, Bryce. I bet you've used GPS in your life at some point, Bryce. I bet that. Review mission data. NASA, ESA, and private companies publish telemetry, photos, and videos showing continuous travel into deep space. All right, and moving on. Hold on, let's watch this claim one more time.
There's a firmament. Number 2, the earth cannot be moved.
Cannot be moved. Okay, that's the one we're going to explore right now. Historical context of proving Earth's rotation. The idea the Earth rotates on its axis has roots in ancient astronomy, but faced resistance due to the prevailing geocentric model, where Earth was seen as stationary at the center of the universe. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle argued for a static Earth, while Ptolemy's I don't know how to say that fucking word. Model in the 2nd century CE reinforced this view. However, Aristarchus of Samos proposed a heliocentric model around 270 BCE, suggesting Earth rotates daily and orbits the Sun annually, though it was largely dismissed. The shift between the Renaissance with Nicholas Copernicus, who in 1543 published De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, reviving the heliocentric model and implying Earth's rotation to explain the apparent daily motion of the stars and sun. This was supported by Johannes Kepler's laws of planetary motion and Galileo Galilei's telescopic observations, such as the phases of Venus and moons of Jupiter, which challenged geocentrism but didn't directly prove rotation. Indirect evidence accumulated, like the oblate shape of Earth, flattened at the poles, predicted by Isaac Newton in 1687 due to centrifugal forces from rotation. Direct empirical proof came in the 19th century. In 1835, Gaspard Gustave de Coriolis described the Coriolis effect, a mathematical framework explaining deflections in moving objects on a rotating body. Building on Pierre-Simon Laplace's 1805 Celestial Mechanics Treaty. However, it wasn't until 1851 that Leon Foucault provided a simple observable demonstration. Key scientific proof: Foucault's pendulum. Foucault's pendulum is widely regarded as the first straightforward experimental proof of Earth's rotation, introduced by French physicist Leon Foucault in 1851. It directly shows that Earth spins without relying on celestial observations. Methodology: setup: suspended a heavy bob from a long wire attached to a fixed point on the ceiling. The pendulum must swing freely in any direction with minimal air resistance or friction. A ring of sand or pins on the floor below traces the path. Initiation. Start the pendulum swinging in a straight line on a fixed plane relative to inertial space, avoiding imparting any lateral motion. Observation. Over time, the plane of the pendulum swing appears to rotate relative to the floor. This is not due to the pendulum changing direction, but because Earth is rotating underneath it. The bob knocks over pins or leaves marks in the sand that shift angularly. Measurement. The rate of apparent rotation depends on latitude. The formula for the precession period is approximately 23 hours 56 minutes, where 23:56 is the sidereal day. At the North Pole, it rotates fully in 24 hours clockwise. At the equator, there's no apparent rotation. In Paris, it rotates about 11.3 degrees per hour clockwise, completing a circle in 31 hours. The pendulum's oscillation period is whatever the fuck that is, where L is length and G is gravity. Number 5, controls. Ensure the support is rigid to prevent building vibrations from influencing the motion. Modern versions use electromagnetic drives to counteract energy loss without affecting the plane. This experiment isolates the effect of Earth's rotation in a non-rotating inertial frame as the pendulum's plane remains fixed relative to the stars while Earth turns. Foucault first tested it at the Paris Observatory in February 1851, then publicly at the Pantheon in March, inviting scientists with the note, "You are invited to see the Earth turn." Why it proves rotation. If Earth were stationary, the pendulum's plane would never shift. The observed rotation matches predictions for a spinning sphere, varying by latitude, proving not just rotation, but also Earth's roundness, as flat Earth models can't explain the latitude dependence. Additional proof, the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect provides complementary evidence observed in large-scale phenomena. Methodology, theoretical basis. In a rotating reference frame like Earth, a fictitious force deflects moving objects. The acceleration is negative 2w times v, where w is Earth's angular velocity vector, and v is the object's velocity. Observations, weather systems. Hurricanes rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere due to deflection. Artillery and fluids. Long-range projectiles deviate. Water draining in sinks shows minor effects, but large experiments confirm it. Measurement. Use instruments like anemometers for wind patterns or ballistic calculations. The effect is 0 at the equator and maximal at poles. Coriolis was theorized in 1835 but observed in phenomena like river erosion patterns before Foucault. It provides rotation because stationary models can't account for these deflections. Foucault's gyroscope, 1852. Unsatisfied with the pendulum's subtlety, Foucault invented the gyroscope in 1852 as a more direct tool. Methodology, setup. A spinning wheel rotor mounted in gimbals allows free orientation. Operation. Once spinning rapidly, the rotor maintains its axis orientation in space due to angular momentum conservation. Observation. Over time, the axis appears to precess rotate at Earth's rotation rate, about negative 15 degrees per hour, independent of latitude. This confirms rotation intuitively as the gyroscope's resists changes, revealing Earth's spin. Modern corroborations. While historical proofs suffice, contemporary evidence includes stellar aberration and parallax, confirming Copernican rotation, GPS satellites accounting for rotational effects, Earth's equilateral bulge, measured via geodesy, These proofs, starting from Copernicus and culminating in Foucault's experiments, overturned millennia of stationary Earth assumptions through rigorous observation and math. Then I provided him with a whole bunch of contradictions. I just included this in a video yesterday. A whole bunch of contradictions in the Bible. All kinds of contradictions in the Bible. And this ain't even all of them. This is just 50 of them, but this ain't even nearly all of them. Ain't even nearly all. So the Bible is true, huh? And that's my overarching point here is I mean, at least he's a true believer. But the problem is when you say the Bible is true and is the source of truth, then there should not be one single shred of its scriptures that could be proven untrue. Not one single bit. Okay? And right here, within all of these contradictions, we find that the Bible doesn't even agree with itself. The Bible contradicts itself on all kinds of things. Let's just do a couple. Who was Joseph's father? Matthew 1 through 16. Jacob was Joseph's father. Luke 3:23. Heli was Joseph's father. How did Judas die? Matthew 27:5. Judas hangs himself. Acts 1:18. Judas falls headlong. His body bursts open. Okay. What did the women see at the tomb? Now, certainly, such an event as the resurrection, there would be consistent documents, consistent stories, right? Let's check it out. Matthew 28:2 through 7. An angel rolls away the stone after they arrive and sits on it. Mark 16:5. They enter and see a young man inside. Okay, Luke 24:2 through 4. Stone is already rolled away. Two men appear suddenly. Okay. John 21 through 2, 11 through 12. Stone is already removed. Mary sees two angels inside later. So here we have 4 different accounts of what was seen. Okay. Can humans see God? Certainly they can agree on such an important thing as this within itself in the Bible. Genesis 32:30. I have seen God face to face and my life is preserved. Exodus 33:11 speaks to God face to face. Exodus 33:20. God says, "You cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live." Well, if that's a direct word from God, but yet over here in these other passages, they saw God and lived. So then either God's a liar, or these people are over here are liars, or the ones who wrote it is a liar. Either way, this is inconsistent. John 1:18. No one has ever seen God, but yet up here, there's 2 people claiming to have seen God. But yet they're all in the Bible, and they are all said to be true. Okay, so that's just an example of the contradictions. And this right here is just a list of 50 of them. A list. So there's actually 700 contradictions in the Christian Bible. So tell us one more time, Bryce.
3, there are ends to the earth. Number 4, there's an up and a down. Number 5, the waters are bounded and compassed. These 5 categories that are clearly just.
Yep. Bounded and compassed all the way around it, Bryce. All the way around it. All right, so enough picking on Bryce, but I just had to drop this. He was so confident and smug in his delivery. Okay, so 5 facts from the Bible prove Earth is flat. No, that is 5 claims in the Bible. Claims are not facts. Claims are not proof. You cannot multiply claims and call it a fact or proof. All right, so there's that. Thanks for rolling with me. I am the brightest night, I am the darkest light, and I am ascending, as are we all. The dark light is upon you. Stay beautiful, motherfuckers. Step into Dane's world.